Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Ted Turner. Success leaves clues, kids. I just named 5 of the greatest names in business in the last 150 years. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're hard as nails. Where does that leave you? I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years. You're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to sacrifice anything to be a high-performance person.
I don't want to be like Dad.
No, most people don't.
I want to be liked.
Yeah, well, see, you want to fit in. I'm the only speaker that you're ever going to hear that really, with all his heart, doesn't give a shit. If I leave here you liking me, I did something wrong.
They see 30 seconds. They didn't see 10,000 hours.
Anyone can sail on smooth waters. Anyone can dance when the music is playing.
So is it just a run in the rain? You tell me.
Remind yourself of what that door opening is going to feel like.
So I have dreams. Compulsions to be legendary, evolving from the imaginary, and it's near and it's real. I can see. In due time we realize that real life is defined by our own eyes. And I have blueprints to the skyline, it's just reality is built methodically, and overnight success you would never guess takes a long time. You have to cut lifelines and navigate landmines, but it's your move on your cue, just decide. So I sat there, thought about it. How long am I gonna go on about it? Put my shoes on, I said so long, and went outside. Right through the field I used to run by, where the rows of sunflowers waist high, but it was different than what I envisioned. There weren't any road signs or guidelines or letters that said it's all just fine. It was just me adjusting as I made my way to the sunrise. Then I paused. On the ground below me was a little door. I knocked slowly, was pretty scared, maybe ill-prepared, but we get one life only. So I opened the hatch, looked down, and it's pitch black, no sound. And if you don't choose any road will do. I've been riding logistical merry-go-rounds and my eyes are wide. Restless soul with scores to settle from years ago. I know that there's more cause I told me so. I'm going down the rabbit hole and there's not a way out. The chips fall, I'm all in. Now my prospects are in lockstep and each step is a shakedown. I got a coat of armor, sword of steel, call to arms cause the threat's real. And see, crowns are made on battlefields, so your majesty know I will never kneel. Time to face fear right front center. Watch doubts fall like it's November. Got a treasure map in my backpack, it says life's golden. What a pleasure, been round and round and free falling now. Cause there's ghost schools and there's goblins out there. Leaving us, they call me treasonous. Think that you're dangerous, you must be delirious. Just then the guns fire and the trumpets start and the ground trembles from the steady march. And it looks bad cause their deck's stacked, but my king beats a queen of hearts. They're trying to win in spades, so I set fires with the kind of flames of forge empires. And like a hurricane, but I'm a tad insane. Cat 5, Cheshire. Right around we go, the next episode under the second story. So look out below, collect the haters' tears that makes a steady flow. And the greatest fear is I told you so. I know it though, there's no impossible. You can watch your past, you can watch it grow. Be more powerful than you will ever know. I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we actually, I would say, I'm actually looking at a reset that will come soon. Now, although the Bears got a bit of a beating yesterday, especially when you look at the stock market, if you look at the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones, it actually flew up yesterday with the news of the pharmaceutical company that came out yesterday and said that the 90% effective rate of the vaccine, and then the market started to jump. Now there is some speculation that comes in from a lot of people and myself, but as I said, it's speculation. Of why does this vaccine now all of a sudden made some such tremendous grounds. But it's just a speculation, obviously, now that Joe Biden is or allegedly win the elections over the weekend. But there's still numerous amount of risks that still lies ahead for the bulls, especially if you look at the stock market. Now, the gold price actually got a bit of a hemorrhage yesterday. I think gold at some point was down of about over 10% because I just saw actually how the account move in that direction. But the gold price got actually a hemorrhage on a weekly. It is down by 2%, monthly also down by 2%, and it was actually a huge problem. Basically, on this announcement that the pharmaceutical company got actually a 90%, or I would say 90% of the vaccine testing. It looks good for this vaccine to come out, which I honestly will I will definitely not take it because it's not that the virus is basically deadly, but surely maybe for the old people, because if you look at the statistics of COVID, then it looks like it hits hard your older people than actually your younger people. But that was good news for the market, because it looks like now that the market can breathe that there's a vaccine on the way. Now, I don't know, will the vaccine be effective, because obviously there's a vaccine for all sorts of flus, but still people are dying. For example, if you look at the influenza pandemic, there's still about over 20,000 people in South Africa that dies of influenza, even though there is a vaccine, and it's free at our clinics in South Africa. I mean, you can go and take your child to any clinic and you will get it basically for free. Not basically for free, it is for free. And there's still about 20,000 people on average every year that passed away of a normal common flu, as we say today. So even though there's a vaccine, people are still dying. So I honestly, it's just maybe to calm down people's nerves that is some sort of treatment that is around, but I don't see actually what is the difference. It's not that COVID is really that deadly, because the effective rate of treatments that are currently available is a 99% success rate across the world. In South Africa, for a third world country, I mean, it's a 92% success rate. There's a lot of other African countries that don't even pay attention to COVID. They don't even do testing. And what Belinda Gates was saying, that millions of people will die in Africa. Excuse me. Millions of people will die in Africa because of COVID, which is absolutely not true. There's no such thing that actually happens in Africa, where a lot of people are dying of COVID. What is a problem is the lockdown regulation, and that is a problem that caused actually a lot of unemployment, and people also don't have food because of this lockdown regulations. So basically, I would say COVID itself, the virus, is not a problem. The problem is the governments, of how they handle this whole so-called pandemic, which I actually don't believe. As one scientist was saying so nicely, it's a plandemic. But basically, the whole risk is still in the United States when you look at the whole entire problem of the elections of Joe Biden and the United States. As journalists come out, and which is very, very, very sad, what is actually currently happening with journalism across the world, and not just in South Africa, which is journalism is so to the left. It's not even liberal. It's totally to the left. And even in the United States, journalism is literally, it's not even becoming, it is corrupt, because everybody's asking on the news, where is the evidence? Is it not the journalist's job to go and dig up the evidence? Is it not the journalist's job to go and scratch in trash cans and go look for evidence, to report back if there's fraud or not? If they are, it is their job to go and look. It depends now on the people of the United States, even me that is outside of the United States, to go and dig up information and go and dig up statistics, go and dig up people's comments on Facebook, social media, which are also censored, but obviously to go dig up at YouTube on stories that would tell about voter fraud, people that are dead, that are still voting. Now, obviously, there's small margins. There's always margin for error when it comes to elections. But when the evidence is so overwhelming, was it not supposed to actually for journalists to go and look at the story? What is actually the problem? Is there really voter fraud? Whether you're in favor of Trump or not. Because for journalists, you're supposed to be in the center between the left and the right, or between your conservatives and the radical left, to go and look at information and say, okay, I can dig up this information and look if there's really fraud that goes on. Because if this thing drags on long and longer, it just can become worse. And honestly, which is funny, there is the big states in the United States, which is the point of where they can decide if there is a president or not. Those states are not certified yet, and the media is totally running amok out of those elections, where they actually go out and announce a winner. There's no certification that came out that said, okay, yes, Pennsylvania is for the Democrats, or Arizona is for the Democrats. The media actually had it and said, there is the situation. Honestly, they are running the story very far. Even the guy made actually a speech, which is now President-elect Joe Biden, come out and made a speech, and Harris, and even governments across the world, or some of the governments, even our president here, brainless guy, that actually also sent his appraisal on behalf of South Africans, and that's definitely minus me, to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden, or alleged president. I mean, yeah, are you not supposed to look at the evidence? Where is literally the democracy that plays in? Are you not supposed to say, okay, open up the whole story of this voter fraud, and let there be a recount or something, in basically to satisfy, I would say, all Americans who scream there's voter fraud, because there's a lot of them that are screaming there's voter fraud. One thing you can say, which obviously the most of them are Trump supporters, at least they did not burn down America. At least they went in with the proper procedures, or they followed the proper procedures by reporting their stuff and go to the courts and try to convince the courts that there's voter fraud, or the police or whatever. At least they did not go and burn the whole entire city down, as for Black Lives Matter and all these hooligans that goes on and protest and burn cities and states down. Not one Trump supporter actually burned down any state so far. So you have to actually look at this whole thing and say, okay, there's a lot of complaints that comes in. Let us go and investigate. And you as journalists are supposed to go and investigate. But you ask the public, or ask the president of the United States, which is Donald Trump, Where is this evidence? Where there's people with sworn affidavits on social media, on YouTube, wherever, that say there is voter fraud, who actually reported this stuff to Rudy Giuliani, who is actually Trump's lawyer. There is evidence. Obviously, it needs to get tested, but there is evidence. So why are the journalists trying to make a mock out of this evidence? The evidence needs to get tested because there's overwhelming evidence, especially if you look at Pennsylvania, Arizona, Philadelphia, which are now under Democrat rule for over 60 years. And funny enough, as I said in my last podcast, Philadelphia pushed out the result of 93% for Joe Biden. And there's over 60 years of rule of Democrat. And the city is an absolute mess with a very high unemployment. It sounds like, for me in Philadelphia, it sounds like a Robert Mugabe regime that is actually going on there. Because how on earth can a Democrat government rule for so long with unemployment so high, and you have people vote over 90% for Joe Biden? Something is definitely wrong in Philadelphia, and also other parts, Georgia, Wisconsin, a lot of different states in America where there is actually alleging, or the people actually allege there is actually voter fraud. Where is the journalist to go and investigate the story? Nowhere. All of them are just asking the questions. But with that said, there's some serious threat to the market, not just to the market, but also the well-being of the United States. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back with you with some more information regarding today's topic.
The champ is here! 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 The champ.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Yeah. Period.
I came from the bottom, but I'm coming to the top. Like some testing your will. How much faith do you got? Your foot's on the line. Will you ever take a shot and score the game? Winning points when it's zeros to clock. I've came to find that life's a test. There's no cheating either. Just work and stress. If no money's provided, you're eating less. Bills on the table and pain in your chest. You promise you'll pay for the things that you can't. You want the whole world, but it's burning in your hands. You ask for help, no one hears you in the stands. A crowd full of friends you can never call fam. They love you then, but they don't love you now. Your whole life seems to be crashing down. You never feel safe when there's no one around. So if you feel like giving up, you gotta stand your ground. No one else can ever try to tell you otherwise. So stop trying to be just like them other guys. Fake the haters who live in this, see you feeling life. And fuck the coaches who judge it cause of their shape of size. If you ever wanna make it, you gotta show effort and show dedication and crave it like basically nothing else matters. But getting that paper and that education, just take it from me. I ain't doing this shit. The rap with a mouth full of gold teeth. That'll show the whole world that my chain ain't soldiers. Let the world know I'm an OG. No, I do this for my fam, for my city, and for me. Cause honestly, I throw a middle finger up to those who don't. So when you want it, get it, don't ever give up. You got it, you wanna make it, then chase it. No one can stop you, they're gonna hate you, but let them hate you, that's fine. Cause if they stand in your way, then you gotta leave them behind. But if you want it, get it, don't ever give up. You got it, you wanna make it, then chase it. No one can stop you, they're gonna hate you, but let them hate you, that's fine. Cause if they stand in your way, then you gotta leave them behind. People will always try to bring you down, but that's a part of life. Imaginary action when they see your name up in the lights. Ignore the gossip and nonsense you're hearing on the daily. Cause if it gets to your head, then you'll only end up failing. Just be the best that you can. Only those who love you will be there in the end. Stick with those in your defense and leave alone your phony friends. Stay on track, don't fall behind. Either chase your goals or fall in line. Bullshitting's only a waste of your time, so go with your gut and stay on your grind. I wanna wake up the world. Someone's gotta hear my message. This is food for your thought. Take it as easy ingestion. I won't leave you in question, just a lasting impression. I'm trying to speak the truth, so take heed to my lessons. This is honestly the most honest things I've said in a while. In life you'll always be judged, eternal circles of trials. Just keep your head up and never ever fall to denial. You're finally on the clock, meaning your time is now. You want it, get it, don't ever give up. You got it, you wanna make it, then chase it. No one can stop you, they're gonna hate you, but let them hate you, that's fine. Cause if they stand in your way, then you gotta leave them behind. But if you want it, get it, don't ever give up. You got it, you wanna make it, then chase it. No one can stop you, they're gonna hate you, but let them hate you, that's fine. Cause if they stand in your way, then you gotta leave them behind.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually today's topic of the bear market that will definitely be back. And with the ongoing counting that still continues in the United States with no certification of actually a elect president, Joe Biden is totally running away with this story. And I think he's just digging himself a huge hole. And but one thing that I do fear, it's actually there can be some serious rioting that goes on, because one thing a lot of people are concentrating on your big networks, especially with your CNN. Even here in South Africa, you have the state-owned media. You also have your private-owned medias, and basically they only put the same story up the whole entire time. If it's not race, then obviously it is the U.S. elections. But it's a very straightforward story on these big state medias that they are not interested in looking at the fraudulent charges of what is currently happening, or alleged for fraudulent charges on the United States. They're all just painting a bad picture on where is the evidence. But one thing that I know is that once you suppress something, you get it's like in science what they say. One of Newton's laws. I don't know if it's the second law or so, but one thing, if you push a force, you will get another force back. And that force that comes back might be 3 times or twice as strong, or even stronger. So once you try to censor, which is currently happening in the United States, they censor everything of Donald Trump. And look, Fox News was saying this quite nicely, where they actually say that if you suppress something, what the big tech companies do, which is now your Twitter, your Facebook. And look, I personally experienced that as well, where I actually, that's why I'm doing podcasting, because once I use your platforms like your Twitter, your Facebook, and YouTube. Now YouTube was running the story actually very long when I was busy with White Monopoly Capital, the book that I wrote. And because the book had a bit of the old flag on top of it, you get censored because it is actually to do with someone else's feelings. But the big question is, did I do something wrong? Because you can use the flag for academic purposes, so I did nothing wrong. But because they are actually there for someone's feelings and not the truth, someone's feelings. Because you, for example, what is more important, to speak the truth or how you said it? That is the big thing. If you speak the truth, is that not more important? Or is it more important of how you twist the truth? Now, the thing is, what is currently happening in the United States and across the world, they censor everything based on how people feel and totally ignore the truth. Now, once you censor something, you will get a reaction from people, because by nature, we all are seeking for something. So if you censor something, people will start to look at why are you hiding this thing? Why are you hiding it? And that is where the big questions will come in. And people will start to dig. You don't, now, obviously, now that journalism is totally in the dustbin, the people themselves take it to courts and try to investigate and try to look in what is the story. But one thing also, you actually create the notion also of where you can run a mock of fake news, where people are starting to speculate. It's nothing wrong to speculate, but now they're going to dance on some things that are wrong. Because I know I need to go through maybe 3 or 4 articles, and obviously all 4 of them it basically is the same. And then you're like, yeah, but I mean, there is voter fraud. There's alleged voter fraud that goes on. Why are you guys reporting? It looks like a copy and paste from one newspaper to the next newspaper, or if you look at one channel to the next channel, it's basically the same. So obviously, why are you just talking good things about Joe Biden, terrible things about Donald Trump? So obviously, people will put on the question mark, like, hey, something is wrong here. Obviously, we have brains. And I don't understand if Joe Biden or the media don't understand it. Some people can use their brains. Not all of us are sitting and just believing everything what you say on the TV or on newspapers. Some of us go look at the data as well, where you actually go and search, like, is this actually true? It doesn't take long. Sometimes it can take long, where you have to go and scratch for information. But you can't just actually think that most people are just brainless and everything what you say we will believe. If you look at a COVID story, excuse me, if you look at a COVID story, most people believe the whole entire thing about COVID is dangerous and blah, 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 and all of those things. But obviously there's some of us that will go and look, oi, is this thing really so dangerous? They will go scratching the data. If it's really dangerous for children, if it's really so dangerous for people between the ages of 19 and 40, and so on and so on. And then you come up with different answers there. And then what happens is that you get basically a revolt back. But why are you guys talking nonsense? Why you guys are keeping this information away from us? That is where the questions comes in. And then when you throw the questions come in, where you throw the questions, then you're getting a crowd afterwards. Because then those people that follows you now, also now putting that same questions out and didn't get the answers. And obviously there's a person now where they say, hey, I was also looking at the same thing and I didn't get the answers. Why are they blocking this information? The same story happened in South Africa when they tried to censor Nelson Mandela during the apartheid era. And what happened? You create an atmosphere where people say, listen here, whoa. The questions, there's some serious questions here. And people did not stop protesting, wanting to free Nelson Mandela until Nelson Mandela was free. So the media, and not just the media, politicians as well, they are playing one dangerous game. Because now you're taking on basically Donald Trump. And we all know now the guy's resilience. For 4 years, he was being bashed with Russia scandal after scandal, and none of that, not impeachment also, and none of it worked. All the courts was pushing it out because there was no substantial evidence on it. And that guy built actually, for that whole entire 4 years, built actually a thick skin for this whole story. And that skin is so thick now that he will not give up. And who are the creators of this? Since day one, when the President of the United States got into office, they didn't believe that he was he won the elections. They came up with a story the Russians helped him with the elections. After that, it was the impeachment process, and it just went on and on and on. Now we're sitting with the elections as well. So you actually created a thick-skinned Donald Trump. And obviously, he will get followers because some of us did go look and did go read the statements of President Donald Trump with the Russian hoax and impeachments and all of those things. And honestly speaking, it was absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Most of the time, the president didn't even pay attention to this whole entire hoax. And what he did, he basically just pushed on with the economy. But please, some of these things also bothered him. That I can say, because then they dig into his wife and the kids and all of those things. It just went crazy, actually. The personal attacks also came in afterwards. But one thing, you're making one person as white as snow, which is now Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And you actually block also the whole information regarding Hunter Biden with his corrupt deals and that he's a drug addict and all of those things, and with his corrupt dealings and drug dealings also in Ukraine and Russia and China. Block all that information. In fact, Joe Biden could have killed someone, actually, and we would definitely not know that he killed someone, because that is actually how the media is actually making this person as white as snow. There's no person in the world, and we know that. No person in the world with a good track record, especially not with Joe Biden's track record, who's been there in office or in the Senate for 40 years and did absolutely nothing. And all of a sudden, he will now change America. Please, there will be some eyebrows there. So if you suppress something, you will get a massive pushback. And that is what's currently happening. The people will not be silenced. It will become like a story of apartheid regime trying to suppress Nelson Mandela for 40 odd years or more. Trying to hold it back. And at the end, the truth actually revealed himself. And believe me, will happen in the United States. The thing is, how will the Democrats take it? Will they also go to court as what now the Trump supporters are doing? Because they are not burning any cities down. Or will they go their old route and burn the whole entire United States down? But on the other side, I hope they don't do it. Because believe me, the Trump supporters know their Second Amendment. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back with you.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Anyone can sail in smooth waters. Anyone can dance when the music is playing.
So is it just a run in the rain? You tell me.
Remind yourself of what that door opening is going to feel like.
So I have dreams. Compulsions to be legendary, evolving from the imaginary, and it's near and it's real, I can see. In due time we realize that real life is defined by our own eyes. And I have blueprints to the skyline, it's just reality is built methodically, and overnight success you would never guess takes a long time. You have to cut lifelines and navigate landmines, but it's your move on your cue, just decide. So I sat there, thought about it. How long am I gonna go on about it? Put my shoes on, I said so long, and went outside. Right through the field I used to run by, where the rows of sunflowers waist high, but it was different than what I envisioned. There weren't any road signs or guidelines or letters that said it's all just fine. It was just me adjusting as I made my way to the sunrise. Then I paused. On the ground below me was a little door. I knocked slowly, was pretty scared, maybe ill-prepared, but we get one life only. So I opened the hatch, looked down, and it's pitch black, no sound. And if you don't choose any road will do. I've been riding logistical merry-go-rounds and my eyes are wide. Restless soul with scores to settle from years ago. I know that there's more cause I told me so. I'm going down the rabbit hole and there's not a way out. The chips fall, I'm all in. Now my prospects are in lockstep, and each step is a shakedown. I got a coat of armor, sword of steel, call to arms cause the threat's real. And see, crowns are made on battlefields, so your majesty, no, I will never kneel. Time to face fear, right front center. Watch doubts fall like it's November. Got a treasure map in my backpack, it says life's golden. What a pleasure, been round and round and free falling now. Cause there's ghost schools and there's goblins out. Are you leaving us? They call me treasonous. Think that you're dangerous, you must be delirious. Just in the guns fire and the trumpets start and the ground trembles from the steady march. And it looks bad cause their deck's stacked, but my king beats a queen of hearts. They're trying to win in spades, so I set fires with the kind of flames that forge empires. And like a hurricane, but I'm a tad insane. Cat 5, Cheshire. Right around we go, the next episode under the second story. So look out below, collect haters' tears that makes a steady flow. And the greatest fear is I told you so. I know it though, there's no impossible. You can watch it pass, you can watch it grow. Be more powerful than you will ever know. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty. Miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion. They're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers. While I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here cause you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, cause you rose to be more. Could've run away, could've avoided the thorns, could've been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, cause when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You did it. Use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime. So drop all those one-liners, we'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified, I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning, guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic. Forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough. No. How long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride and took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll. It gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown. Just go home. Just go home. It's safe there. Yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat. A humble retreat. Check the box and complete to my core. Intrinsically, it's not for me. I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees. Just running in place every day on repeat. This is the world I want to see, where everything's taken with no guarantees. No. Come on, man, pick your head off. Go back inside. Half a life's learning to get up. How can I make you see that you have everything you need, and what you want to be is never out of reach? Fate deceives sometimes, but destiny's calling, so can't let the phone ring. You know there's no all-knowing. Go level up, no letdowns. Let the world in, push fear out. It's self-belief. It starts right now. When hell freezes, you lay down. Until then, it's your town. It's your story. It's your crown. Live in the clouds, feet on the ground. They stand still, you run around. Go mesmerize, or they socialize. There's dollar signs to be maximized. If you live it right, regret nothing. Loud applause, the sweetest sound. And this moment won't happen again, and never becomes forever unless you choose to begin. So see greatness in each step, and power and progress. Your future, yeah, that's limitless. It's infinite. Don't forget you want this.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually the bulls will be coming back very soon. The thing that I'm just worried about, if Trump pulled this one off and actually win the elections, the certified now elections, what will be the reaction of the American people? And obviously, as I said before we went to the break, that the whole thing is that you still have a Second Amendment in the United States, and believe me, it will be all guns blazing if there's a riot again. And sadly enough, on the 3rd, or I would say on the 2nd of November, people were closing their shops already, putting some stuff in front of their stores, because they were basically afraid, what if Joe Biden lose the elections and then the cities will burn again? And that is what they did. And I think, and some of them didn't actually open again, waiting for these elections. And some of them are actually complaining about it because there's still a lot of uncertainty. And this uncertainty is really becoming a problem for the people in the United States. And there's still votes being counted. There's still a lot of errors that goes on. And there's a lot of different news that goes on. There was at one point this morning, Joe Biden was on 290. There was actually news that came out that he dropped actually below the 270, 259 with the electoral vote again because Arizona is not certified, nor is Pennsylvania and Nevada. So he needed to go back to 259, so which means he did not win the elections yet. And funny enough, that news that was broke out this morning did not go on to mainstream media or with the big media companies. They still hold on that this guy is sitting with, they are still looking for evidence. They're still running that story. And it's really amazing that they didn't even bother to go and check why the federal government actually did that by reporting that it is on 259 and not on 290. What has been seen on Google, on CNN, and all the different news outlets. It's really crazy, and believe me, a lot of people, I even see the celebrities jumping on this wagon wheel of Joe Biden's victory, and literally forcing people to accept this news. You can't just say people must accept news when there's so many questions that still needs to be answered. Look, if Trump loses correctly, then fine. But the guy is just actually, or the president of the United States is just actually asking the questions, and he have a right to ask a question. What is so difficult in that? I just don't understand. He can ask the question. The same happened with Al Gore and George W. Bush. He asked the questions, which was now George W. Bush, and they went and counted and found out that Al Gore did not win the elections. Nothing happened. But what is the story now? It's just that the mainstream media is so heavy. I don't know if they get paid for this nonsense, and that is just also speculation. But they are just on the left. They just want the president out, President Donald Trump out. And also what was very surprising to me, there was an article on Bloomberg as well that said that Joe Biden's or the Biden campaign wrote a letter to the federal government to say that they must confirm or certify his victory. Who the hell give him the right to do that? Who? I mean, if there's questions to be answered, why doesn't Joe Biden come out and say, listen here, open up this thing, or before he actually accept the so-called elect president, why don't he say, listen here, there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered with this mail-in voting, and he knows there's errors there. Why didn't he say, listen here, let's get rather a recount before dig himself? Why is he so determined to win this election and pretend that he's a president, have also now a plan for COVID and people must wear masks and all of those nonsense? People don't even pay attention to that crap. And that actually makes me fear the market. That's why I say that the bulls, or the bears, I would say, although they got a beating yesterday, but they will come back strong. And now that I think it was the Department of Justice director there also resigned, based on rumors that he wrote the letter that he will resign according to four different, not even four. I think there was three different articles in one this morning. Yeah, it was four. That actually said that he wrote the letter to say that he resigned because he said there is already a president-elect and he will not investigate. So, I don't know, this is crazy. So he was forced to go and investigate what was going on of the federal government. And he actually gave in his letter and say he will not. You must defend the United States, not a president, not Donald Trump, not Joe Biden. You are not supposed to defend one of them. You're supposed to defend the credibility of the U.S. justice system. That is your job, to defend the Constitution of the United States, not a president. You can't be loyal to a president, especially if you work in government. You are not. So all of a sudden he gave in his resignation because he said there's already a president-elect, and said that Trump actually bullies him to do his job. There is some speculation, heavy speculation. Get the story out, investigate the story so we can get finished and done, over and done with this whole story, so that the president can take his seat in the White House. It's very simple. But with that said, you have to be very careful if you're trading in the market, because I think there will be some mood swings coming. Maybe not today, but definitely starting tomorrow. Especially if you look at the Dow Jones and the oil price and all the commodity prices. Because obviously there is no official president as in yet in the United States. And somehow the market will start to actually fear this whole story and start to sell off. Look, this whole entire Joe Biden train is basically fake. Absolutely fake. Where the stock market just went up. Because obviously, as I was speaking to one trader, I said, look, this guy is actually in favor of breaking up monopolies, which is now the tech companies. He's in favor of breaking up that. That will be devastating to the NASDAQ. On top of that, the taxes that he wants to increase. So that will also be very devastating to your industrial side of the United States, or for everybody in the United States. So basically, the stock market is supposed to go down, not up. It's not. It can't work that way, where you basically negative for the market, but the stock market goes up. Look, that's absolutely nonsense. That's why I'm saying the movement of Joe Biden winning the elections, where the stock market already went up, that is absolutely fake. Because in all my experience in trading, the market is supposed to move in the opposite direction, not what is currently going on there. So the bears got a bit of a beating. But I think starting tomorrow, this market will see red all over again because of the uncertainty. Because the market will start to realize that as some news are coming through, which is your small news outlets, they're starting to report of what the federal government stated about the 259 mark of the electoral vote of President Biden. Some people will start to actually to believe, they have to believe it because it comes from the federal government. The market will start to question mark this whole story. Now, what the hell is going on with mainstream media and what is being said by the federal government? Because there's two different stories. But obviously it's not on Bloomberg as in yet. But believe me, I think maybe later today or tomorrow, people will start to believe that whole story, because obviously Joe Biden is not certified as in yet as the president-elect. So sooner or later, the market will start to see red. So you guys need to prepare yourself. I know you guys are now on the bull train, but this is all fake. So you need to prepare for a very heavy sell-off. And I think it may start tomorrow. Because that article of this morning that stated Joe Biden actually has 259 of the electoral vote and not 290, that says a lot. And soon it will start to reach mainstream media. But I think maybe it doesn't even need to get to mainstream media. People themselves, as a trader myself, you will start to go and search. And once you see that article, you will start to believe like, hey, I need to jump out of the market. And it's not just you. There's a lot of us that will start to jump out of the market and move into safe havens. And that is where the sell-off will come. Remember that the stock market, forex market, commodity market, the market itself is made out of people like you and I, not some miracle person. It's you and I who are trading. So once we start to sell off, or people getting scared, believe me, it will start to come down. So prepare for that big bear to come back. And believe me, it will be a heavy sell-off. That's it from my side for today. Please be careful with trading today and tomorrow. I will be here again at the same time at 1 o'clock tomorrow to give you some more information regarding this elections and also regarding the market. Bye-bye.
The champ is here!